deal with on a daily basis. But when I started that, I had absolutely no idea what a brownfields was. I had no idea what a phase 1 or a phase 2 environmental site assessment was. I only learned that from really dealing. They run up against a situation where they need to do some of this, or they're trying to expand to economic development and looking at the brownfields program as a means to start doing that.
That's really not our audience. The individual homeowner, probably not. The real estate agent, the government worker who's frustrated and looking for someone to help them wade through the system and become more effective. So we've got county, state, municipal, commissioners, council members, and a lot of them are in their 30s to 40s. We deal with renewable energy developers. We're looking at, like I say, realtors, that anybody who's buying a property, especially a commercial property, so banks have to have a phase 1 or a phase 2. That is not really, we do it, but we're very expensive for that because we follow the letter of the law, and there's all kinds of changes that have happened in this state. That's how we get underbid on a lot of stuff, because people come from out of state and don't know that our laws have changed. They bid on something and it's like, well, that's fine, but no one here is going to accept the product when they get done. So how do we educate clients to know what they're looking at?
So you're just like assisting them buying the property? Or
The law says that if you do not perform due diligence, Chris goes to buy a property and he just says, okay, I'll buy it. If the bank's involved at all, they're going to say you have to have a phase 1 done. A phase 1 says the property's clean. There wasn't a meth lab on it. There wasn't a, I mean, this is, seriously, we've been involved in trying to write the legislation for meth, how they're supposed to handle it. There isn't any yet. We've got it in draft form, it's not out. But banks won't loan you money unless you get a phase 1. Okay. If there's contamination, you have to get a phase 2. You got to clean it up.
And then do you guys clean it up, or do you help people, like guide them how to clean it up?
Because we're more consultants, what we do is help you find somebody who can clean it up at a reasonable price and do it right.
Do the banks, those that have the stipulations you must clean it up or know that it doesn't need to be cleaned up, do they give referrals?
Do the banks give referrals?
Yeah. Or they just say...
almost any professional entity will give 3 names. I'd like to be on that list.
Yes, that's a potential audience for you. If you could
Right.
target the people that are referring her business. We had a client one time that dealt with cleaning stone, commercial, residential. And so they started targeting the people that sell the stone, that somebody comes in and says, hey, can you refer somebody to me? And then they would refer them. So they were targeting the professionals in the industry that realized that your clients need the services, and so you could refer them. So that's a potential one. If you could figuring out how to reach them is one thing, figuring out what would the message be to those is another thing.
Well, you just reminded me of something. I had one of our GSA contracting officers say, look, one of the first things we do is go to your website. I've had purchasing agents from Clark County and wherever say the same thing. So our website, I think that's one of the main reasons we're looking at, hey, we need some help. How can we get their attention and say, look, we can do this work and do it right?
Other than word of mouth, what are some strategies you guys do to get people on your website?
We do a lot of events, like a lot of types of marketing events or networking events. We do have our marketing materials that we hand out, but we also try to let them know we do have this website. Come look at this website so you get a much more in-depth view of what we do, what our capabilities are. And obviously it does have our whole SOQ listed on there, so you can see that as well.
We had keywords put on the website to help search engines or
Right.
the robots find the website. And using the Google Analytics, I could track which words what people are searching and how they're getting there, which words trigger it. So it's a constantly changing environment. Brownfields, one word. Well, some people search it as two words, brownfields. So it shows up on a list with percentage of how many people search those words and have to somehow implement them in the page to draw people there. That's what we're doing. We've been running a Google Analytics for about 3 months now. I can tell where people are coming from, what browsers are coming from, what pages are going to, through keywords. So, any way you can draw more is better.
Well, that's the way to go. However, when you're dealing face-to-face, you go to a conference or you show up with somebody, you've got that brochure capability statement to give away, and that's pretty much what you're doing now? Maybe a business card?
We will need everybody's name.
We've started a dialogue here and that. We've got a little bit better handle on what you do. We're going to talk about both of these clients and about what their elevator speech would be. You got 20, 25, 30 seconds with somebody. What do you say? That's that core messaging, the targeting, the branding. I still don't remember your site, .com something, whatever it was. However, I could search for it if I knew what it was. It might be more memorable to teach me what you deal with, and I can search that, than to remember your website, because a lot of times it's easier to do that. BEC, I could probably type BEC in Las Vegas, Nevada, something like that, probably find you. So that's easy, even though I can't tell you what BEC stands for, I would be able to find you, okay? It's that kind of a messaging, Finding them, the IT guy here is doing plenty to do that, but they're not going to even use they're not going to Google anything if they don't know they need to, or where to start, or what they would call it. Yeah. So you need some messaging put together in a leave behind. Maybe it's just a different kind of a business card that's not in a business card format, more like a postcard format that can go in their pocket or fold up in a wallet, or where are you at? What's the venue that you pass along information to people? What format should they design? Because I know you want to go digital and, the web and social media and all that, but you need something like your statement brochure to pass along to somebody. And they can hold it, feel it, and put it in their pocket and pass it on to somebody else. And so maybe a redo of the brochure so it's a little bit more exciting than what it is.